in Osama City. You're watching One TV News Channel. One TV News Channel. Serving you with information, news, sports, and public affairs. One TV News Channel. One TV News Channel. Serving you with love. Ang telebisyong pangmasa. One TV News Channel. One TV News Channel. One TV special report.
In the absence of our Vice Mayor Simplicia Bibineri and the Chairman on the Committee on Laws, Rules and Styles, this representation is taking over and sits as the presiding officer of this public hearing. May I request the Secretary to call the roll?
Honorable Lau, Honorable Sakin, Honorable Lim, Honorable Ko,
Present.
Honorable Duhay Lungsod, Honorable Puente Sepres, Honorable Salvador. There are 7 members present, including the presiding officer.
Having 7 members present, I declare this public hearing a quorum. So this public hearing is on the subject of the proposed 2 ordinances entitled an ordinance amending the requirements for renewal of business permits under item 2 of section 1 of an ordinance number 1317-2024 known as the ordinance amending the requirements for new and renewal of business permits under items 1 and 2 of the section 1 of ordinance number 1286-2023 known as the ordinance amending the requirements for new and renewal of business permits under paragraph B section 4A.07 of ordinance number 1059-13, otherwise known as the 2013 revised Omnibus Revenue Code of Osami City, and an ordinance amending section 3A.02, letter D, tax on retailers, section 3A.2, letter E, tax on contractors and other independent contractors, and section 5G.01, service fees on garbage collection of ordinance number 1053, otherwise known as the 1213 revised Omnibus Revenue Code of Osami City. This Sanggunian resolved to conduct this public hearing in order to give all representatives and stakeholders the opportunity to comment and advocate for their respective lawful interests so as to provide this Sanggunian with holistic perspective with which to decide on further steps regarding this matter, with the aim of coming up with the most appropriate measure under circumstances to the best interest of the Osamisnon. So for a start, we will be discussing the ordinance amending 3A.02, tax on retailers, the first ordinance amending the requirements of renewal of business permits under item section 1 of the ordinance 1317-2024, etc. So we would like to request the committee secretary to please recognize the guests today and kindly stand up when your name is called to be recognized.
Yes, Madam Chair, this afternoon we have the presence of Mr. Dibinyo Ledesma, Treasurer of the Osami City Chamber of Commerce.
Sir, please.
We have Mr. Jonathan Lim, Mr. Vicente Ropinta, Miss Analo Limpaga, Mr. Federico Iliana, business owner, Miss Anita Puentes Castro. We have Los Minda Pajardo, business owner, Miss Pidila Raimundo, Punong Barangay Jul Baco, Miss Erlinda Sumalpong of Mindanao Rock, Mr. Edgardo Cabahog, Barangay Kagawad, Mrs. Lani de la Viga, Osamis Chamber, Mr. Ronito Cabo, Barangay Kagawad, Malaubang, Miss P. Kalahat, Miss Duna Baol, business owner, Punong Barangay Julita Laurete, Engineer Titis Borge, former Suimo, Mr. Persington Quito, Mr. Punong Barangay Jojobano, Kagawad Leo Ispil, Barangay Tabid, Mr. Dominador Elemento, Mr. Gemilio Pactol, Punong Barangay Godopredo Ele, Barangay Kagawad Idmon Dumaag, Miss Annalyn Licanda, business owner, Miss Jubilo Lomo, bookkeeper, Ranile Lomo Bookkeeping Services, Barangay Kagawad Ramonito Daumilas, Engineer Proylan Bondaco, Kagawad Arbin Laranjo, Mr. Limuel Dinsing, Licensing Officer, Permit Division, Miss Jenilyn Pajardo, business owner, Golda Marie Ligaspi, Ayan Dumapa, Kagawad, Jumar Kolkol, Punong Barangay Sangay Jut, Romel Auduhisa, Punong Barangay Gala, Shirley Alaad, Barangay Secretary Gutokan Jut, Arthur de la Serna, business owner, Concepcion Paglinawan, Punong Barangay Rosalie Kalahat, Punong Barangay Cristimi Canyo, Punong Barangay Herminiana Perez, Archie Suarez Bookkeeper, Punong Barangay Lahay-Lahay o Pantaon, Punong Barangay Idi Lumakad Labinay, John Kerwin Sipi, Osamis Filipino, John Kerwin C, Osamis Filipino Chamber of Commerce, Michelle Joy Maghinay, bookkeeper, Arthur Chan, chairman, Osamis City Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Wilson P. Kagaanan, Barangay Kagawad, Santa Cruz. We have also Madam Chair, Rutisa Griswano, City Administrator, Attorney Franklin Sulita, Legal Officer, City of Osamis, City Treasurer Julie P. Napikit, Miss Maricho Mansanadis, Local Revenue Collection Officer, Georgina A. Madera, Consultant, and Jillian May Lubitanya, Administrative Staff, BPLS.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. So this chair wishes to thank the guests for your presence and your time. This committee looks forward to a meaningful discussion and productive conversation this afternoon. Today's hearing will be conducted in the following sequence. First, we would like to recognize and the city admin, Ma'am Rutesa Uwano to introduce the series of proposed ordinances. And then we will have the floor to the Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry, represented by the Vice Chair, the Honorable Katkat Lim. And then the two chambers and the stakeholders will also present their manifestation and position. And other stakeholders will follow. And after that, we will generate the comments from of the SP members. And I would like also to request everybody to observe the following conduct. So we give, so that everybody will be accommodated, we will give 3 minutes allowance of time per speaker. And please be direct to the point so that all of us can have the opportunity to express our views and comments. And there shall be no direct comments after a speaker unless recognized and initiated by this chair. So please also prepare your manifestation ahead of time or before your turn. And we will have a second round for, again, for the set, so that, for further discussion. So first we will invite the Ma'am Rotesa to present the first ordinance, amending ordinance.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Ma'am Rotesa, your turn.
Please present the soft copies of the proposed ordinances. So for this afternoon, once again, good afternoon, everyone. For this afternoon, we are going to talk about 2 ordinances. First, we have an ordinance amending the requirements of renewal of business permits under Item 2 of Section 1 of Ordinance Number 1370/2024, known as an ordinance amending the requirements for new and renewal of business permits under Items 1 and 2 of Section 1 of Ordinance Number 1286/2023, known as an ordinance amending the requirements for new and renewal of business permits under Paragraph B, Section 4807 of Ordinance Number 1059/13, otherwise known as the 2013 Revised Omnibus Revenue Code of Ozami City. And our second ordinance to be discussed is an ordinance amending Section 3A02D, tax on retailers, Section 3A02, letter E, tax on contractors and other independent contractors, and Section 5G01, service fees of garbage collection of Ordinance Number 1059/13, otherwise known as the 2013 Revised Omnibus Revenue Code of Ozami City. So for the first ordinance, allow me to read the whereas. Whereas Section 16 of RA number 7160, the Local Government Code of 1991, states that every local government unit, I believe that is Ordinance number 1286/2023. Can we please flash the draft for the proposed ordinance? While we are looking for the file, I believe everyone has been given a copy of the said ordinances to be discussed today. And allow me to read, just allow me to continue to read, please. Those necessarily implied therefrom, as well as powers necessarily appropriate or incidental for its efficient and effective governance, and those which are essential to the promotion of the general welfare. Whereas Section 5 of RA 11032 mandates all government offices, including LGUs that provide government services, to regularly undertake cost compliance analysis, time and motion studies, and undergo evaluation and improvements of their transaction systems to reduce red tape and adhere to standards of processing time. Whereas the Anti-Red Tape Authority, or the ARTA, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Interior and Local Government Unit, the Department of Finance, have individually and collectively issued guidelines and circulars that promote efficiency in business registration procedure and effective delivery of public service. Whereas a commitment to the continuous improvement of our business permit process, driven by technology, best practices, and community feedback, is essential to reduce redundancy, foster economic growth, and ultimately enhance the ease of doing business for our constituents, the entrepreneurs and job creators who are vital to the prosperity of Osamis City. Now therefore be it ordained by the Sangguniang Pambansod in session duly assembled that Section 1, Item number 2, under Section 1 of Ordinance number 13/17/2024, known as an ordinance amending the requirements for new and renewal of business permits, under Items 1 and 2 of Section 1 of Ordinance number 1286/2023, known as an ordinance amending the requirements for new and renewal of business permits, under Paragraph B, Section 4807 of Ordinance number 1059/13, otherwise known as the 2013 Revised Omnibus Revenue Code of Osamis City, is hereby amended to read as follows. For renewal applications, the amended requirements are the following. First, duly accomplished downloadable unified application form with sworn declaration of gross sales and certified list of employees. Second, proof of annual gross sales and receipts of immediately preceding year, which may include either audited financial statements or unaudited financial statements for those who are not required to file AFS with the BIR, or a small statement of gross sales and receipts or income tax returns. Third, proof of right of applicant to use location as business address, which may include any of the following. If not owned by applicant, the following documents are required. If you are renting, an updated or valid notarized lease contract or memorandum of agreement, lessor's business permit. Or if you are using it for free, an affidavit of non-rental with consent to use the property, which is a form produced by the LGU, with attached photocopy of fines, valid ID, and 3 specimen signatures. And letter D, and all other requirements provided for by city ordinances and national laws. Section 3 repeated laws. All other ordinances or parts thereof that are inconsistent with any of the provisions herein are hereby amended, modified, and repealed accordingly. Section 3, separability clause. If any part of this ordinance for any reason is declared to be unconstitutional or invalid, the other parts or provisions hereof, which are not effective hereby, shall continue to be valid and enforceable. In Section 4, effectivity clause, this ordinance shall take effect on January 1, 2026, after its publication in the local newspaper of general circulation and posting in the City Bulletin Board for 2 consecutive weeks. Chair, that is the proposed ordinance for discussion this afternoon.
Thank you, Ma'am Rodessa. So before we proceed, I just request our operator to flash the old ordinance, and that is being amended right now, especially on the section 1. This is the old ordinance number 1286/2023, and that is subject for amendment as per presentation of our city administrator. So while the proposed draft is still being scanned right now, so we just compare our notes from this old ordinance. And to proceed, may I call in the Vice Chairman of the Committee on Business, Trade and Industry for her manifestation and reactions. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Kathleen.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. As the Vice Chairman of the Committee on Business, Trade and Industry, I would like to express that this public hearing is conducted to hear all sides of the sectors. Thus, this Committee on Business, Trade and Industry hopes and encourages all sectors to manifest their reactions, sentiments, and comments that will help resolve and give clarification on the purpose of these adjustments. So on behalf of the LGU, we will try our best to present this proposed ordinance clearly and explain comprehensively to the public. At the same time, this representation is open to the voices of the business sectors as the heart of the economy of the city, and in behalf of this sector, we'll try our best to give due clarifications and consideration accordingly. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kathleen. So now we proceed to the comments and reactions from our business sectors. We will start with, yes, Ma'am Elvitan from the Osamis Chamber. Osamis Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elvitan, Chair of the Osamis Chamber of Commerce, and Merry Christmas to all. My comment, I would like to refer you to Section 1, Number 1, Item B, Proof of Annual Gross Sales. Number 1 is audited financial statement, and number 3 on income tax return. Knowing very well that we file our business permit on the month of January. And by that time, we don't still have the audited financial statement and the ITR because normally we file it on April. So our suggestion would be, how about if we just submit our 4 quarters of tax returns for those who are not registered, and the 4 quarters percentage tax for those who are non-fund. Thank you.
That is being noted, Ma'am LB. So we proceed with our next reactors. We will answer later after we gather all the comments and reactions. So any other comments, any other suggestions, any other remarks for this amendment? Because in the existing ordinance, it is already stated there that the requirements includes the sworn declaration of gross sales. That is also presented already, and the certified list of employees also already in this ordinance 1286. And the only additional here is the free of use. I hope we can already have the scanned documents. So we will hear from the Committee Chair on Business, Trade and Industry, Honorable Kathleen. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kanang dito atong bisayo na lang atong pag-manifest ato ang mga comments or any suggestion, Madam Chair. Pagbasa na po sa proposed ordinance and in comparison with the old City Ordinance number 1286, para mas simplified siguro, Madam Chair, na dili siya i-amend kay sa Section 1 for renewal application, letter A, naa na siya din sa Section 1, number 2, letter D. Ang kanipong letter B, for renewal application proof of annual gross, Roman numeral 1 of 3, naa na siya under Section 2B, numeral number 1 and 2, sa daan na ordenansa. So sa laktod ng pagka-istorya, including also the renting update valid notarized lease contract, ana siya sa Section 2, letter A, Roman numeral number 2. Ang wala ragyod ni ani sa daan na nato nga City Ordinance, Madam Chair, kanira yung Section 1, letter C, number 2, free of use. Affidavit, letter A, affidavit of non-rental with consent to use the property. Mauran ni siya ang wala sa atong daan na ordinansa. So, pwede rin nato ni, para dili libog-libog sa tanan, sa kadaghanan, idungag na lang nato ni si free of use, dinhi na lang sa Section 2, letter A, butang siya Roman numeral 3, free of use, and that's it. I hope nga nakuha batanan to make the amendment simplified.
Thank you. Thank you for your suggestion, the Honorable Mascatli. So, the Honorable is manifesting that the only change to be done is the additional section or item on the free of use requirement. So, having said that, any other comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
On the other hand, I would like to comment on the statement of our Vice Chair. On the other hand, the amendment we have now is much simplified. And we do have to follow the ARTA rules and regulations of streamlining our business permits. But however, we were just it's up for the council to deliberate on that. And I would like just to comment on about the use of the facility rent out the location of business address. It is an experience of our members that while they are renting their premises, they cannot just easily rent it out to the next renters because of overdue accounts of the previous renters. I don't believe it is responsibility now of the renters to really run after the old renter, because while we do receive our rentals, the city government likewise receive the payments of taxes for these people. So I think we just have to do away with it and let the renters take the responsibility as renters, following the rules and regulations we have of really having a permit as a lessor. However, we should not run after the renters because we do not have any control over these people, especially if they are investors or doing business outside of Osamis City, from outside of Osamis City.
Thank you, Ma'am LB, for your for the issues you raised, no, and concerns. So we have number one from the Osamis Chamber of Commerce that instead of the financial statement, they are asking for options on documents to be presented like percentage tax. And the second issue is the lessor-lessee arrangement that the lessor cannot renew if the lessee did not pay and did not settle the business closure here in the LGU. So we want the answers from which department would like to handle the questions. Okay, from the city administrator, Ma'am Rutesa. Two issues. Thank you, sir.
So once again, good afternoon. First, allow me to clarify and simplify what the amendments are about. So as what our Vice Chair of the committee pointed out, it's actually just small changes on the forms in itself, because in comparative to our previous, the 2024 ordinance, It is true that it is all very similar, but what the major change reflects is for the first form, the duly accomplished downloadable unified application form with sworn declaration of gross sales and certified list of employees. So previously, we have required a separate document for the certified list of employees, and that's why we have consolidated this into one form already. As some details that were included in the previous application form are now entered into the system, and also some details were digitally archived. That is why we made adjustments and included the certified list of employees into that one form. And the second major change is actually on the form again, the affidavit of non-rental with consent to use the property, which is now produced by the LGU, which is in the form RBP C1. Last year, or this year's renewal, we have encountered a lot of issues with regard to the inconsistency of tenures, especially if the business owner is merely using the location free of use. So, in order to reflect and in order to ease the burden of our taxpayers to express the tenure of their arrangement, we have made a document to fully address this. So, comprehensive na ang ato ang document, which will also be downloadable online. So, it is very, options na lang. It's an affidavit, but you are going to merely describe your relationship. So, it's already an editable form na lang for the ease of our taxpayers. Because again, we also adhere to the ease of doing business as prescribed by the RTAP. So these are the two, I believe, amendments lang, just so to reflect these changes to avoid confusion lang for our taxpayers in order to have it reflect in our citizens' charter. So these are changes. They may seem small, but it has great impact to our processors, to our taxpayers for that ease of having only one or two documents to be produced. Thank you. And for the second issue, which required the previous lessee to settle their retirement application prior to another lessee. Because the problem is, we have seen that a lot of business owners will just abandon or even yet go away without settling their retirements, leaving arrangements to be unsettled. So we try to have their accounts settled muna. So as of course, this is also for their protection because we have observed, especially from the City Treasurer's Office, that a business owner will just come back after 5 years and then will complain na why man nakadako ang delinquency because the ordinance dictates that unless you file for a retirement, your business is deemed open and operating. So we are relying on that presumption as provided for the ordinance. So we cannot assume that 2 business permits exist in one location. That is why, as much as possible, we want the previous lessee to settle their accounts. So in order to allow the new lessee to occupy or to use that location as a business address. So we hope that you understand the POV of the LGU because we are only thinking for the protection of the old and the new business. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, our City Admin, Ma'am Rotesa. Any reactions to the explanation from the City Admin regarding the number 1 and number 2 concerns? Number 1 concern is already settled. Are we okay with the options being presented when you apply online, via online? Okay na ta. So number 2 issue is on the lessor-lessee contract. So there are questions. Yes, Ma'am Elvin.